It's still mind-boggling to me that the Boston Celtics are down 3-1 to the Miami Heat. But at the same time, I'll still give them their credit for not making the history books for the wrong reasons. I mean, everybody was anticipating Boston would be in the history books for all the right reasons, getting a chip. If they were to lose 4-0 to a Miami Heat team that barely made the playoffs, they'd have a couple spots in the history books for the wrong reasons. So I'm glad they kept their name out of that. And so I like their chances in Boston. If they could grab a win in Boston, I like them possibly taking it to a Game 7 and making history for another good reason, being the only team to come back from 0-3 series. So that'd be interesting. But I'm a roll with Boston, man. I got a lot of respect for them as a team, as a organization. I totally understand that the coaching is a big issue. This coach here, what happened at the beginning of the season's not his fault. I don't think he expected to be the main guy coaching the team. And when you have him going up, honestly, I could say right now, I think Eric Spoelstra could possibly be the best coach in the NBA right now. Right? That's very possible. And when you have a rookie coach going up against a seasoned coach, that makes all the difference. I made videos talking about Miami. I felt like they're a small team. They got size issues. And it's not to say Boston is that much bigger than Miami. But when you got Jason Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown, those guys are like 6'7", 6'8", running the ball. You see what I'm saying? Nobody on Miami Heat could guard those guys. So I don't get it. And vice versa, you have guys on Boston who can at least, in my opinion, I thought would at least be able to slow down Jimmy Butler. But it seems like that's not the case. Jimmy Butler, he's really shifty. He's not that quick. He's not the quickest guy I've ever seen, right? So I'm not sure why it is that guys can't really stay in front of him. I know he'll use the picks. When he uses the picks, I don't see guys preparing for it. It's like they're aloof. They don't know what's happening. And when the pick comes, they're just like, oh my goodness, a pick. I mean, let's take this to old school. When we played pickup basketball, you'd have a guy said, okay, you got to pick on your left. You got to pick on your right. You see what I'm saying? So the guy could be prepared, and still we would know, okay, I'm going to cover him. I'm going to cover the pick, or I'm going to switch, or whatever the case may be. I don't see, with Boston, I don't see no communication when it comes to the picks and the screens. The three-pointers, I mean, shooting like 100 threes a game. It's crazy. And it got to one point where I'm watching the game and they're just shooting three after three after three. I'm like, these guys want to lose the game. I'm thinking they want to lose the game or something, because I've never seen a team jack up so many three-pointers. Never. So... And then when they started winning, when they started getting back in the game that they won, right? They weren't taking just threes. The guys were driving to the hoop. I'm like, where was this all along? They're playing defense. I'm like, wow. If you guys did this in game one, you wouldn't be down 3-1 right now. It would probably be the opposite. You see what I'm saying? But you know what? I like their chances. I'm a roll with Boston. I think Boston has the capability of being the better team because they have the better talent. Miami has consistently been the better team in the playoffs, not just in the series. So, you got to give credit to Miami for that. For playing team basketball. That's one thing I gotta say is the most common with the two teams who are left standing. well, I shouldn't say two. One team that is waiting for the Miami Heat, Celtics, and Miami Heat. That's Denver and Miami Heat. They both play team basketball. They're well coached. They have a really good system going on, and that's what's most common. That's one thing I could say about Boston, and that's why I didn't pick Boston over Philly, was because I felt like, even though Philly's not the greatest in terms of their system and how they operate, I felt like they had a better system going than Boston. You know, I even mentioned before this series that this whole, you know, my turn, your turn thing with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown wouldn't work, and it didn't work. It didn't work. That's why they're down 3-1. You know, they got to have a better system, and they have the guys, they have the capable guys. They just don't have the system, which means it all comes down to the coach. The coach has to implement that system. So we'll see what happens. Right now they're down 3-1. I'm definitely going with Boston to win in Boston, and if they do that, I like them taking it to a Game 7. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.